Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be looking at which Minecraft mob hurts you the most. Now, I know what you are all thinking, well isn't it obvious? The bosses must do the most damage. That's why they are bosses, surely? Well, as it turns out, some of the numbers are actually quite interesting, and we should be taking a good long look at them today. So just to preface this is all going to be done on normal difficulty as a baseline measurement and to keep it fair. The things I'm not going to measure are the area of effect attacks, such as witch potions and the ender dragon magic damage attacks, as they're based on time and many other factors about being inside them. And also attacks that have a variable damage point, I'm just going to use the midpoint as my average measurement. And before this video starts, only 2% of you who watch my videos are actually subscribed. Now this means a lot of new people are actually getting to see my content. So if you do enjoy, hit the subscribe button. I do this for free and it really helps me out. Anyway, enough with the chatter, let's get on with the video. To start this off, we're going for the weakest mob in the game. It is the small slime. They deal absolutely no damage, and you have no reason to worry about these little guys. Next up on our list, we actually have Llama Spit. This will deal half a heart of damage to the player, so you don't want to disrespect these guys. Make sure you give them some space. Now, one of the scariest mobs to come across in groups is actually the Silverfish. Much like the llama, it only does half a heart of damage, so one off, it's not too bad. But having a large group of these guys chase you down is quite terrifying. Now, interestingly enough, a skeleton arrow on average will only do 1 heart of damage to the player, as well as doing 1 heart of damage if the player is in melee range of the skeleton. Alongside skeletons, cave spiders will also do 1 heart of damage, however, they will also poison the player for 7 seconds on normal difficulty. Now that's going to need some milk. Endomites, which luckily for me I have yet to deal with, will actually do 1 heart of damage to the player and are naturally hostile. In the Java edition of Minecraft, the piglin arrows will do 1 heart of damage to the player. Better make sure you get that gold equipped. Now the medium slime, unlike his younger brother, will do 1 heart of damage to the player, so you're going to have to break him up pretty quick. Unlike the cave spider, the regular spider only does 1 heart of damage and without poison, so we won't be taking any extra chip damage. The stray and the stray arrow, much like the skeleton, will on average do 1 heart of damage, but those pesky buggers also inflict slowness upon you for 30 seconds. Next up, we have the unfortunate case of if you ever make a wolf hostile towards you on accident, they are going to be doing 1 heart of damage in attacks to you. These little guys you actually don't want to anger, because bees will do 1.5 hearts to the player and then poison you for an additional 10 seconds. Now imagine a whole group of them coming after you. Now you may not have been aware of this, but you can actually hurt dolphins and they will become hostile towards you. A hostile dolphin will do 1.5 hearts of damage to the player. As well as dolphins, many other creatures lurk in the sea, one of them being the drowned. The drowned will do 1.5 hearts of damage within melee range. The husk, which likes to roam the deserts, will also do 1.5 hearts of damage, but will also inflict hunger on the player for 7 seconds. The smallest of the magma cubes can do 1.5 hearts of damage to the player. These guys also love pushing you off cliffs in the nether, so make sure to be careful. Funnily enough, the pufferfish does actually have a melee attack. If the player is close enough, then this will do 1.5 hearts of damage. Next, as we move over to some of the nether mobs, the zoglin will actually do 1.5 hearts of damage, but you don't really need to worry as this requires a hoglin to go through your nether portal. The basis of all mobs, the man himself, the zombie, much like his desert and water buddies, he also does 1.5 hearts of damage. Now unfortunately, if a zombie ever gets close enough to a villager, we get one of these fellas, the zombie villager, and much like the person that turned him, he will also do 1.5 hearts of damage. In the Java edition of Minecraft, the hoglin is naturally hostile, and the hoglin is capable of doing 2 hearts of damage to the player. The medium-sized magma cube will actually do 2 hearts of damage to the player, and as I said before, be careful where you fight these guys. In the Java edition of Minecraft, the piglin is capable of doing 2 hearts of damage to the player. they really are putting that gold sword to good use. Pillagers with a crossbow will do 2 hearts of damage. Best get those shields out to deflect all them shots. A shulker bullet will actually do 2 hearts of damage to the player, but the scary part about this is that the player then gains levitation for 10 seconds. Make sure you have something to prevent full damage. Next up we have the biggest slime brother, and this guy will deal 2 hearts of damage to you, so make sure to stay away unless you really need those slimes for a sticky piston. Now we have our best friends, the wolves. A tamed wolf will do 2 hearts of damage, so make sure to feed them lots of meat to keep them happy. If a piglin ever manages to get through the nether portal and turn into a zombified piglin, then they can do 2 hearts of damage to you, so be careful against their swords. In the nether, we have a couple of bad boys who do a decent amount of damage. For one, blaze fireballs will do 2.5 hearts of damage to you, so you best dodge, block and weave as many as you can. The pufferfish poison will do 2.5 hearts of damage to the player, but will also give them poison for 7 seconds. Next up, we have the blaze melee attack. For whatever reason you get up close and personal to them, they will do 3 hearts of damage to the player, so you best get some armor on. Next up, we have the Evoker Fang attack. The Fang attack will do 3 hearts of damage to the player, so you need to be careful when fighting these, as I'm sure they will never fight you alone. Springing back into the nether, we can see that the Ghast Fireballs will do 3 hearts on impact. Now that's a lot of damage. Moving on, we now have the Guardians of the Sea. You best make sure you have Aqua Affinity, as these guys will do 3 hearts of damage to you big time. Looking at another big brother, we have the big Magma Cube, who will do 3 hearts of damage to you. Now these guys are especially tough, as you've got to kill all the mini ones as well. After this, we have the annoying phantoms. Each one will hit you for 3 hearts, and they are especially strong in groups, so make sure to return home and have a little nap. The beasts from the ice, the polar bears, are actually quite strong and will do 3 hearts of damage to you, so you best not mess with these fluffy guys. The Ravager is one of the big raid bosses that Pillagers can ride in on. The Roar does 3 hearts of damage to the player. Surprisingly enough, there are some mobs which do more damage than the Ender Dragon. The Ravager melee attack is really strong and will hit the player for 6 hearts of damage. The Enderman is the only mob that deals 3.5 hearts of damage. However, in my opinion, they can also be one of the hardest with how often they teleport around. Next up, we have the ranged attacks from the Drowned with Tridents. The Drowned can deal 4 hearts of damage with the ranged attack. Now we have a boss, which is the Elder Guardian. The Elder Guardian will do 4 hearts of damage to the player, but also inflict Mining Fatigue 3 for 5 minutes. The Wither Skeleton is one of the mobs in the Nether Fortresses that will actually do the most damage. The skeletons do 4 hearts of damage and will inflict Wither for 10 seconds. Next up, we have the Vex. The Vex is a hostile mob that is summoned by the Evokers in small groups, and they do a massive 4.5 hearts of damage. Now imagine a group of those trying to chase you down. Next up, we have the big boss endgame himself, the Ender Dragon. Now the Ender Dragon melee attack will do 5 hearts of damage to the player, so best make sure you don't get too close. A Vindicator is the strongest mob in an Pillager raid. Now getting hit by one of these will hit the player for 6.5 hearts of damage. Next up, we have my favourite mob in the game, the Iron Golem. This mob has such a wide range of damages, as said before, so I'll go right in the middle as the average. The average damage an Iron Golem will do is 7 hearts of damage, which is massive. Best get them onto your side for a raid. Now lastly, we have the Creeper Explosions. Now we have 2 different damage values for this. The normal Creeper Explosion will do 24.5 hearts of damage to the player. That is ridiculous, so you best bring a shield when fighting any creepers. And finally, the moment we have all been waiting for, the Charged Creeper will hit the player and deal 48.5 hearts of damage. That is crazy, so you best make sure you do not go out in any thunderstorms. Well guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed the video, as this was something slightly different and slightly longer than most of my other content. If you did want to stick around, please be sure to leave a like on the video, as it really helps me out. Anyway guys, that's all I have for you today, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Peace.